I got an email from Adrian Thomas about some comments that Janelle just recently made concerning male rappers. And let me just tell you right now, Janelle Monae has been in rap music. That's something that a lot of these intersectional feminists have been doing for years. I mean, this is nothing new. This is absolutely nothing new. They just kind of talk, and it just falls on deaf ears every time. But she took it a step further with what she said. She went as far as to say that they need to abolish black. I mean, we might as well say, because it's mostly black people, males who are rapping. Said they need to abolish males in rapping, and that she only ever wants to hear women rappers. Janelle, I don't know if you've had your ears tuned in over the years, or at least over the last 5 years, and heard some of the shit that comes out of these black female rappers. A lot of the stuff that you're complaining about, they call themselves. Call themselves bitch and hoe and all types of shit like that. Come look at my OnlyFans and stuff like that. But she has nothing to say about that. She even went as far as saying that even her favorite woke and conscious rappers are starting to fall into that same category. And I know exactly who she's talking about. That was a subtle dig at J. Cole. If you don't know what happened, J. Cole recently came out with a song, and he had mentioned someone by the name of No Name. There really is a person out there named No Name, and I think they're like a poet or a rapper female. And Twitter went crazy and thought that that was a subliminal dig at her, and he had to try to come out and clear his name. And then everybody hopped on to J. Cole and was like, oh, you're no different. You speak ill of black women. You pretend that you like black people and all this, that, and the third. That's why we don't need people who are biracial up in our business. It was a mess. I didn't even bother doing a video about it because I was like, what's the point? They gonna be mad about this and then they'll be over. Notice that happened like about 2 weeks ago, and now you don't hear about it no more because they over it. They just made noise for that time just to make noise, and people still went out and bought the damn album or whatever it is that he had streaming. So let me go ahead and get into this. Janelle Monae has called for an end to misogyny in rap music in a series of tweets. Yesterday evening, July 3rd, Monae said the amount of misogyny in rap music was infuriating, adding that we need to abolish that shit too. Monae said, I really only want to hear women rapping. So you want to replace the misogyny and put in misandry, because that's exactly what some women be putting, like a lot of women who rap put in their music. And if you want to be technical, some of them put misogyny in their own music because they over-sexualize themselves with some of their own lyrics. But she ain't gonna call that out. The amount of misogyny from most men in rap and music is infuriating. We need to abolish that shit too. Women, black women in particular, have been betrayed by the majority of men for far too long. There it is. There it is. Let me repeat that. Women, black women in particular, have been betrayed by the majority of men. She might as well say that black men, because I know that's what she wanted to say. For far too long. The systems that enable patriarchy and abusers of power are burning. Either bring gasoline or burn with them. She later added, y'all can't wait to call every woman bitch, hoe, discuss violent acts against women, etc. for clout and rap, rock, and throughout the music history. Misogyny has never been okay, yet it has become normalized. Women didn't create misogyny, y'all did, so you do the work and abolish it. And she wrote that in all caps as if she is yelling at people. You can see the series of tweets below. So let's see here. I'm not going to read the one she already put out there. Misogyny in entertainment, boardrooms, the White House, households, corporate spaces, Army Church lets us know y'all do not care about women on a human-to-human level, and you never have. If you did, it would have been abolished centuries ago. You had time. A lot of my musical heroes and peers' work are problematic in many ways, and I just might be a problematic hero to someone. Recently, Monae spoke about how triggering it was to film her upcoming film, Antebellum, to Jennifer Aniston, Zendaya, Rose Byrne, Helena Bonham Carter, and Reese Witherspoon during the Hollywood Reporter Drama Actors Roundtable. In the film, the actress and singer portrays an author who was transported back in time to a reality in which she is an enslaved person. Monae said, "Oh, I brought all of my ancestors home with me. We were filming most of the stuff at night on a plantation, and I felt everything. They were just certain conversations, even at craft services, that if I heard would be triggering for me. I couldn't even talk to my family. Sometimes it was kind of unhealthy to think back." Earlier this week, Monae joined Beyonce and Solange in calling the U.S. Senate to end voter suppression. Let me go ahead and skip some of that. Okay, and then it just goes into something else away from the article itself. You know what's even more, what's so funny? There was a time when some rappers had put women in their videos. They would call, video girls, video vixens, however you want to call it. And they were black women. Most of them were dark-skinned black women. And that's back when the most scantily clad thing they could wear was a skin-tight miniskirt. Now, of course, now that's completely phased out. And the women had said, "I don't want to be in those videos anymore. Stop objectifying me." And the rappers, mostly who were all black men, said, "Okay, we won't put you in the videos anymore." So what did they do? They replaced them with the more ethnically ambiguous person. Sometimes they might throw a white girl in there, an Asian, Latina, Dominican, Puerto Rican, or, something like that. Guess who got outraged all over again? The same black women that were mad that they were quote unquote being objectified and said, "Why don't you put us in your videos?" Because you said you didn't want to be in it. So what is it? Do you want to be or do you not want to be? Like, which is it? And then when they put you back in, by that time, the skin tight skirts and everything like that was no longer around. Now you barely have anything on, but you dealt with it and you continue to ride the wave. And now you have female rappers out here who literally talk about some of the same things that some of these male rappers do. Because at one point, they were fully clothed. They rapped about whatever it is they rapped about. But then Lil' Kim came on the scene. And that's when they became a little bit more sexual. So it pretty much all kicked off with her. And now you have Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B and whoever the fuck else. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't listen to the radio. I don't. A lot of the music I listen to is on YouTube or I have a playlist. That way I can control what it is that I decide to listen to. And I don't listen to a vast majority of the shit that comes out today. I'm just being quite and utterly honest. Now, as far as Janelle Monae goes, this is the same woman right here who is so confused about what her damn identity is. One day she's a heterosexual woman, then she's a lesbian, then she's a pansexual, then she's an asexual, then she's the lover of earth, and then she is, one with God, and then she's this and then she's that. She's pretending to be this all-being entity. She doesn't even know what she is to be making all of these statements. But if you notice in her tweets, they were very, 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 very feminist based. Not very heavily feminist based. Like, she knocked you over the head with what she said. And Janelle, if you don't like what's being said, then all you have to do is switch the station or just not listen to it at all. Or do what I do. Create your own playlist and put the songs on there that you don't want to hear. But at the end of the day, that's not going to slow all of this down. And notice who she's coming at more. She's coming more at the black men in particular when it's these record companies that are pretty much all palm colored owned that is pushing and pumping this stuff out there. And see, this is what I mean. They don't have that much power. So what do? They come at the people that they feel they can get, instead of going at the people that they know can remove the stuff, but they can't. Well, they can, but they probably won't, because that's how they make their money. But the fact of the matter is that she said they need to abolish it. You know what's so sad? At one point, Janelle Monae, I looked at her and said, she's a very unique character. She does a different type of music, and I thought, she was very attractive. Now, I'm not going to talk about her looks and everything like that, because the woman still is very attractive. However, on the physical side, but internally, that woman is ugly. She has a very ugly aura about herself. She really does. And putting out this statement says just that. Had a man come out there and said the stuff she said about women and talked about misandry and everything like that, oh, she and so many others would have came back at him. The whole intersectional international incorporated would have came after that guy. And see, this is the thing where we live in a world where a lot of these women who think like Janelle Monae can think that they can come out of their mouth and say anything, and that the men are not going to clap back and not put them in their place. I'm sure that there has been a lot of rebuttals about what it is that she has said, and I'm curious to see what others have to say, especially those who are fans of hip hop. And to be quite honest, Janelle, women who actually, if you listen to some of the stuff or look at some of the playlists that a lot of women have on their phones, a lot of them have that same type of music in there that you claim that you want to abolish. Because you'll be surprised. And it's crazy because most of the consumers, if you look at stats of hip hop music today, are white, palm-colored males who happen to be teenagers. So as long as they continue to consume, those white execs, they ain't removing a goddamn thing. So you need to take your hang up, whatever it is, and you take it up with them. Oh, but you're not going to do that because White Zaddy is going to knock you down a peg and make sure you stay down a peg.